Welcome back to another furniture flip. This time we've got a buffet slash dresser in pretty good condition. It's missing a little wood piece in the middle. It's a little dirty, so we're going to get this cleaned up and painted, get it looking brand new. First, I'm going to start by taking off these trim pieces on the side. I think they make it look a little dated, and it's just not quite the look I'm going for. So I'm using a flat scraper here just to pop those off. Next, we're going to move on to removing the hardware. This one has a lot of handles, so we're going to take all of those off. Now that all those handles are removed, I'm using some all-purpose cleaner and degreaser. Just going to spray this whole dresser down, and then I'm using my DeWalt drill with a drill brush attachment, and we're just going to give this thing a good cleaning. This attachment works really good at removing all that dirt, all the glue, all the residue from stickers, all that junk that was just left on by the previous owner. So just spray it down, go back and forth with this drill brush a couple times, and then we'll wipe it all down. This brush attachment's good at getting into all the crevices too. In that center piece, it looks like the board got broken off, so we're going to go ahead and get that replaced. I've got this thin sheet of plywood here. It's just about the same thickness as the old one, so it should work pretty good. I just measured that center piece, got the length and width, and using my DeWalt skill saw, I'm going to cut it to size. Now that I got this piece cut out, just using some wood glue, I'm going to attach this piece of wood using some clamps, let that dry for a little bit, and it should be good to go. Alright, looks like we got a perfect fit. Same process here for the drawers. We're going to spray it with that degreaser and then use the drill brush to give it a good cleaning. Alright, now that everything's clean, we're going to move on to sanding. The top's got some pretty deep scratches here, so I'm just using my DeWalt orbital sander with some 180 grit sandpaper. I'm going to sand this down as much as I can without going all the way through the veneer, just to eliminate some of those scratches. For anything that's a little deeper than the sander can handle, I'm going to use some wood filler and get that patched up. For the rest of the dresser, there's not too many scratches, so we're just going to do a light scuff sanding. That way the primer that we apply will stick better. You can see some of these scratches here on the top are still super visible after sanding, so I'm going to go get my wood filler and patch these up. That way we get a nice smooth finish. Now the fun part, we're moving on to painting. This first coat's going to be an all-purpose primer. Just going to give this whole dresser one coat of primer, let it dry for a couple hours, then we'll come back and do our finish coat. The way this dresser is set up, it's easier to paint with the drawers inside. So I just went ahead and put one layer of tape around the inside edge and slightly popped open the drawers. That way the paint can attach to the tops and the sides without any overspray going inside the drawer. Found this paint in the Oops section at Lowe's. Never used it before, but for 15 bucks, can't beat it. I think the color said it was graphite black. I normally use tricorn black, which is just a little bit darker, but I think this shade of black might be my new favorite. This paint was a little thick, so I went ahead and mixed in a little bit of water into my spray gun before spraying it. It dries pretty quick and it came out really smooth. So this is the first coat of the final color that we're going with. I'm going to spray all this on, let it sit for a couple of hours, and then we'll come back and do a second coat. Here's how it looks after the second coat. I think it looks pretty good, nice and smooth, no bare spots. So now we're gonna move on to our top coat of polyurethane. This polyurethane is water-based by Minwax, and it's super easy to spray, goes on nice and smooth and dries pretty quick. After this coat's applied, I'm going to let it dry for a little bit and then come out and reassess and see if it needs a second coat. I forgot to record it, but I added some drawer liners. Now I'm just attaching the hardware. I decided to go with some gold rectangular handles. I think it complements this piece nicely. And here's how it came out. I think the handles and the knobs work really nicely with this piece.